All right, my beautiful soul. Today we are talking about something that may seem simple, yet it is the foundation of all true healing. The purpose of life is love. Love is the reason we are here. Love is what heals the body, soothes the mind, and brings peace to the spirit. Love is not just something you give to others. It is something you must also give to yourself. And this is where so many of us stumble. We think, if I just try harder, if I just change this or that, if I just criticize myself enough, then maybe I'll be worthy of love. But I am here to tell you clearly, you are worthy now. You are lovable now. You are enough now. Take a breath with me. Place your hand over your heart and just feel your heartbeat. That steady rhythm is life itself loving you, supporting you, keeping you alive without you needing to do anything to earn it. Do you see? You don't have to prove your worthiness to life. Life already decided you are worthy, or you would not be here. And so the journey is not about becoming lovable. It is about remembering that you already are. Let's begin with the first lesson. Stop criticizing yourself. How long have you carried the voice of criticism inside you? Maybe it began in childhood, when you were told you weren't smart enough or good enough. Maybe it came later, when you compared yourself to others and always felt behind. But that voice is not truth. That voice is habit, and habits can be changed. Self-criticism is the biggest block to growth. It does not motivate you. It does not strengthen you. It weakens you. It keeps you trapped in cycles of shame. It keeps you believing you must earn love by being perfect. And that is a lie. Think of it this way. If you had a garden and you stood over the flowers shouting, "Grow, you lazy flowers. You're not tall enough. You're not pretty enough." Would they bloom faster? Of course not. They would wither under your harshness. And yet, how often do we do this to ourselves? We think we can shame ourselves into becoming better. But the opposite is true. What helps a garden grow is care, sunlight, water, and attention. What helps you grow is encouragement, patience, and love. So when you catch yourself saying, "I'm not good enough, I'm failing, I can't do this," pause. Place your hand on your heart and say, "I lovingly accept myself as I am." This is not weakness, this is power. Acceptance creates the space for change. Criticism blocks it. The moment you stop fighting yourself, the healing can begin. Now let us move into the second lesson. Stop terrorizing yourself. My dear, how many times have you frightened yourself with thoughts of the worst possible outcome? How many nights have you lain awake imagining disasters, creating pictures in your mind of sickness, poverty, rejection, failure? And yet, most of the things you have worried about never even happened. Worry is using your imagination against yourself. Fear is rehearsing pain before it arrives. And the body does not know the difference between an imagined danger and a real one. When you picture catastrophe, your body reacts with tension, with stress hormones, with tightness. Over time, that constant fear makes you sick. Fear is giving power to a thought that frightens you, and every thought is a choice. You may not be able to stop the first fearful thought from arriving, but you can stop feeding it. You can stop turning it into a movie that plays all day in your mind. You can choose a new picture. You can choose to imagine safety instead of danger, light instead of darkness, love instead of fear. Let's try together. Close your eyes. Bring up one fear you've been carrying. Feel how it makes your body contract. Now breathe and say softly, "I release fear and trust life to take care of me." As you repeat this, Imagine the fearful picture dissolving into golden light. Imagine yourself being held, safe, surrounded by love. Notice how your body responds. Do you feel your shoulders drop? Do you feel your breath deepen? This is the healing power of replacing terror with trust. And here is what I want you to remember. Life loves you. Life supports you. Life provides for you. The universe is not against you. Even when things seem difficult, life is guiding you, redirecting you, teaching you. Think of the times when you thought something was the end, only to discover later it was the beginning of something better. That is life taking care of you. That is life working for your highest good. And when you trust this process, you no longer need to terrorize yourself with what if. You can say instead, whatever comes, I trust that life will guide me. Let's go a little deeper into practice. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, instead of immediately rushing into your day or letting worry flood your mind, take 5 minutes. Sit quietly. Place your hand on your heart and repeat, I lovingly accept myself as I am. I release fear and trust life to take care of me. Repeat it until you feel calm. Repeat it until your breath slows. Repeat it until your body relaxes. You are training your mind to be a friend rather than an enemy. You are teaching your cells to feel safe. And safety is the soil in which healing blossoms. I also want you to try journaling, because writing helps anchor new thoughts. Take a notebook and write down 3 criticisms you often say to yourself. Then, one by one, replace them with loving acceptance. For example, if you often say, I'm too fat, write, I lovingly accept my body as it is, and I treat it with kindness. If you often say, I always fail, write, I am learning every day, and I celebrate my progress. Then write 3 fears you terrorize yourself with. Replace each with trust. If you fear, I'll lose everything, write, I am always supported. Life provides for me. This simple exercise helps you see clearly how you have been treating yourself, and it gives you new words, new scripts to guide your healing. Let me tell you this, my dear. You do not have to carry criticism and fear any longer. You can lay them down like heavy bags you have carried for too long. You can step into a lighter way of being. You can choose new thoughts. You can choose love. You can choose trust. And each time you do, your body will respond. Your cells will breathe easier. Your energy will flow freer. Your mind will soften. So let us affirm together now. I lovingly accept myself as I am. I release fear and trust life to take care of me. Again. I lovingly accept myself as I am. I release fear and trust life to take care of me. Let these words echo through your body. Imagine every cell smiling, every organ relaxing, every part of you responding with joy. Because your cells are listening. They hear you. They believe you. And when you speak with love, they heal. This work is not about being perfect. This work is about being present. It is about catching yourself when you criticize and choosing instead to encourage. It is about noticing when you terrorize yourself and choosing instead to comfort. You will not always get it right. That's okay. Each attempt is progress. Each shift is healing. Every time you choose love, you are building a new pattern. Well, I want to share a little story with you, my dear, because it connects so beautifully with what we've been talking about. Years ago, I remember meeting a woman who came to me after many years of harshness toward herself. She told me, Louise, I can forgive others, but I cannot forgive myself for not being perfect. Her eyes were tired, her body was weary, and her spirit was heavy. And I held her hands, and I said softly, "Love is not about perfection. Love is about presence." In that moment she cried, because she realized she had been demanding of herself something she would never demand of a child she loved. She was willing to give compassion to everyone else but herself. And so I said to her, "Be gentle with yourself. Be patient. You are learning. You are healing. And healing takes time." This is what I want to share with you now. Lesson 3. Be gentle and patient with yourself. We live in a world that often shouts, "Hurry up, be better, do more, prove yourself." And under that pressure, we become hard on ourselves. We think if we just push harder, criticize louder, demand more, then maybe we'll finally be enough. But that is not the way of love. Love is gentle. Love is patient. Love waits for you to open, the way a flower waits for the morning sun. Think about how you would treat a child learning to walk. If the child falls, you don't scold, "How stupid! You should have walked perfectly the first time." No, you smile, you encourage, you hold out your hands, you say, "Come on, try again, I believe in you." That is how you must speak to yourself, because inside each of us is still that tender child, still learning, still growing, still needing encouragement. I often say we are all just little children inside, doing the best we can with the knowledge and awareness we have at the time. So let me ask you, how often do you scold yourself instead of encourage yourself? How often do you demand perfection instead of celebrating progress? My dear, healing is not a race. Growth is not a competition. It is a journey, and every small step is something to be proud of. When you stumble, it does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. And when you choose gentleness, when you choose patience, you create a safe space inside for healing to happen. I want you to affirm with me now, "I am gentle, kind, and patient with myself." Again, "I am gentle, kind, and patient with myself." Feel how your body softens when you say it. Feel how your heart breathes easier, because your inner self responds to kindness, not cruelty. And every time you speak gently to yourself, you are building a new pattern. I encourage you to practice this every day. When you make a mistake, instead of saying, "I am terrible," say, "I am learning." When you feel behind, instead of saying, "I'm not enough," say, "I am growing in perfect timing." Write these words down, put them on your mirror, whisper them before bed. You will be amazed at how different your life feels when you become your own encourager rather than your own enemy. Now, let us move naturally into lesson 4. Take care of your body, because when you are gentle with your heart, you will also want to be gentle with the body that carries you. Your body is not your enemy. Your body is your home. You live in it every single day, and it listens to every thought you think. The way you treat your body is a reflection of the love you give yourself. And yet, so many people punish their bodies. They deprive, they overwork, they criticize, they stuff it with food without care, or they drown it with substances that numb rather than heal. I want you to hear me clearly. Your body is precious. Your body is holy. Your body is a temple of love and health. And when you treat it with kindness, when you feed it nourishing foods, when you allow it joyful movement, when you give it rest, your body responds with energy, vitality, and healing. Think of the way you care for your home. If you never cleaned it, if you filled it with garbage, if you neglected it, it would soon become unlivable. And yet, you can always restore a home with care. The same is true of your body. No matter what choices you have made in the past, you can begin today to care for your body with love. It does not need punishment. It needs kindness. Let's be practical. The food you eat is not just calories. It is communication with your body. If you eat in fear, if you eat in guilt, you send signals of conflict to your cells. But if you eat with gratitude, if you choose fresh, colorful, nourishing foods and bless them, your body hears love. Even a simple apple eaten with awareness can be an act of healing. I often say, food can be a gift of love to your body. So let every bite be love. Movement, too, is not punishment. So many people exercise to force their bodies into shapes they believe are acceptable. But movement should be joy. Dance, walk, stretch. Do what feels good. Move in ways that make you feel alive rather than shamed. Think of children running in a playground. They don't exercise, they play. You can do the same. And rest. How many of us forget rest? In a world that glorifies exhaustion, resting becomes a radical act of self-love. Rest is not laziness. Rest is healing. Rest is what allows your cells to repair, your mind to reset, your spirit to breathe. So give yourself permission to sleep, to pause, to be still. I also want to lovingly remind you, substances like drugs, alcohol, or junk food may give temporary relief, but they are not acts of love. They are acts of avoidance. They do not solve pain. They postpone healing. And you deserve more than postponement. You deserve true healing. You deserve a body that feels good, a body that supports you, a body that is treated with respect. Place your hand on your body now, maybe over your chest, maybe over your belly, and whisper, "My body is a temple of love and health." Again, my body is a temple of love and health. Feel your body respond. It may bring up emotions because perhaps you have criticized your body for so long. Perhaps you have seen it only as flawed. But every cell is listening. Every cell longs for your approval. And when you give it love, it responds with healing. Try this exercise tonight. Before bed, stand in front of the mirror and thank your body. Thank your feet for carrying you. Thank your hands for helping you. Thank your eyes for seeing. Thank your heart for beating. Write down 3 things you love about your body. They don't have to be grand. They can be simple. I love my smile. I love my strong legs. I love the way my lungs breathe. This practice begins to shift your relationship with your body from criticism to gratitude. So, my dear, let us bring these 2 lessons together. Gentleness and care. Be gentle with your heart and care for your body. Be patient with your journey and treat your body as the sacred home it is. These are not small acts. These are acts of profound healing. When you stop demanding perfection, you create peace inside. When you nourish your body with love, you create health inside. And when you combine peace and health, abundance flows naturally because life always blesses those who live in harmony with themselves. Let us affirm together now. I am gentle, kind, and patient with myself. My body is a temple of love and health. Say it again, not just with your lips, but with your heart. Imagine these words becoming golden light, flowing through every part of you, healing, softening, strengthening, because they are not just words, they are truth. They are new seeds, and life always brings a harvest to the seeds we plant. I want to ask you something very simple and yet so deep. When was the last time you let love flow through you toward another person, freely, without hesitation, without keeping score? Was it a smile you offered? Was it a kind word? Was it the moment you forgave instead of holding on? These small things may seem so ordinary, but in truth, they are extraordinary, because love is the most powerful healing force in the universe. And the more we allow it to move through us, the more our lives become reflections of that love. Lesson 5 is about sharing love with the world. You see, it is not enough to only love ourselves. Love longs to circulate, just as blood must circulate in the body. When we hold love inside and do not express it, it becomes stagnant. But when we share it, through relationships, through forgiveness, through service, it becomes a river, flowing outward and then returning to us multiplied. What you give out always comes back. Let us begin with love in relationships. Our closest connections are often where love is tested the most. It is easy to speak kindly to a stranger, but what about to the people we live with every day? What about the partner, the child, the parent, the colleague who may not always be perfect? This is where true love becomes practice. And practice does not mean perfection. It means showing up again and again with the willingness to see the good. So many relationships struggle not because of lack of love, but because of lack of appreciation. How often do you say thank you to those around you? How often do you pause to notice the little things they do? A meal prepared, a task completed, a smile offered. Gratitude is love made visible. And what about the words "I'm sorry"? These words are not weakness, they are strength. They open doors that pride has closed. And encouragement, how often do you give it? A simple "I believe in you" can change the entire course of someone's day. Love in relationships is not about grand gestures. It is about consistency. It is about letting your words and actions be rooted in kindness. Imagine for a moment if every family, every couple, every friendship made it a habit to say 3 loving things every day. Do you see how quickly the atmosphere would change? The tension would soften, the hearts would open, the bonds would deepen. Love is not complicated. We are the ones who complicate it. Now let us talk about love and forgiveness. Oh, forgiveness, the word so many resist. I want you to hear me clearly. Forgiveness is not about condoning what was done. Forgiveness does not say, "It was okay." Forgiveness says, "I will no longer allow this hurt to poison me." When you hold resentment, you tie yourself to the past. You replay the wound. You keep yourself in prison. But when you forgive, you open the door and step out into freedom. Think of resentment as a heavy chain around your heart. Every time you replay the offense, you tighten the chain. And yet, the person who hurt you may not even feel its weight. You do. Forgiveness is cutting that chain. Forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is about you. It is about choosing love over bitterness. It is about choosing peace over pain. And here is the miracle. Once you forgive, love flows again. Energy that was trapped in anger is released into joy. Space that was crowded with resentment becomes filled with light. Forgiveness is an act of self-love. And when you love yourself enough to forgive, the world around you begins to reflect that love. So I want you to practice this right now. Think of one person, just one, with whom you still feel pain. Close your eyes, see their face, and say softly, "I release you and I set myself free." Breathe. Let the words wash over you. You may not feel completely free immediately, and that's okay. Forgiveness is a process. But every time you repeat those words, the chain loosens, and love flows a little more freely. Now let us move to love and service. This is where love becomes action. Service is not about being a hero. It is not about doing great dramatic things. It is about small, sincere gestures that ripple outward. A smile to a stranger, a kind word to a cashier, holding the door for someone, listening with your full attention when another person speaks. Each of these is a seed of love planted in the garden of the world. I often say, what we give out, we get back. And service is simply giving love without demand. When you serve with kindness, without expectation, you align yourself with the abundant flow of life. Because love given always returns, often in ways you do not expect. Think of water again. It cannot flow if blocked. Service is opening the channels, letting love move outward so it can return. When you withhold, you create scarcity. When you share, you create abundance. That is the law of circulation, and you don't need wealth to serve. If you can smile, you can serve. If you can speak a kind word, you can serve. If you can offer a prayer, you can serve. Service is love in motion, and every act matters. Let me ask you this. What is one small act of love you can give today? Perhaps a phone call to someone who feels alone. Perhaps a note of appreciation. Perhaps simply blessing the people you pass on the street. When you bless others, you are also blessing yourself. Because we are all connected, what heals one of us heals all of us. So, my dear, we bring these three aspects together: love in relationships, love in forgiveness, love in service, and we see that sharing love is not optional, it is essential. Love is not something you keep, it is something you circulate. The more you share, the more you have. The more you give, the more returns to you. Love is infinite, and it grows stronger when expressed. Let us affirm together now. I am a channel of love. I share love in my relationships. I forgive and set myself free. I give love in service, and it returns to me multiplied. Say it again, as though you were engraving it on your heart, because this is the truth of who you are. You are love, you are loved, and you are here to share love with the world. Love in community. Think about this. Many people believe that love is only for family or for romance or for friends. But love is much larger than that. Love is for your neighbors, for strangers, for the person you may never meet again, but whose life you touch in passing. When you give to your community, you are not just helping others, you are nourishing your own soul. Volunteering, supporting the less fortunate, lending a hand where it is needed, these are all ways of planting seeds of love. The universe always returns what you give multiplied. Think for a moment. How would your community look if every person gave one act of kindness each day? One meal shared, one word of encouragement, one hand reaching out to help. The world would be transformed. And that transformation begins with you. You may think, I don't have enough to give. But love does not measure in dollars or possessions. Love measures in sincerity. A kind word spoken from the heart can mean more than a fortune given without care. Now, let us speak of love in words and thoughts. Every word you speak carries energy. Every thought you think is like a ripple in the ocean of consciousness. Words can wound, or words can heal. Thoughts can limit, or thoughts can expand. So I want you to become mindful of the language you use, not just with others, but with yourself. Are your words building or breaking? Are your thoughts nourishing or depleting? It is so easy to criticize, to judge, to complain. But every time you do, you are sending out vibrations that will return to you. Instead, choose to bless. Choose to speak encouragement. Choose to uplift. You do not even have to speak aloud. You can send silent blessings as you walk down the street. Imagine saying quietly in your heart, I bless you with love. I bless you with joy. I bless you with peace. You may never know how those silent blessings touch another soul, but they do. Energy is never wasted. And then there is the highest circle, love in global consciousness. This is where your personal love expands to touch the entire planet. You may think, how can I, one person, affect the whole world? But the truth is, you are not separate from the whole. Every time you choose love, you raise the vibration not only of your life, but of the collective. When many people choose love, the energy of the earth shifts. Wars soften, hatred dissolves, healing becomes possible. I want you to imagine for a moment millions of people across the globe, all pausing to send love. Imagine waves of golden light circling the planet, flowing into every home, every heart, every nation. That is not a fantasy. That is the power of consciousness, and you are part of it. When you love yourself, you heal a piece of the world. When you forgive another, you release energy for all. When you share kindness, you add light to the collective. So let us affirm together, the love I share blesses the world. Say it again and feel the truth of it. The love I share blesses the world. Imagine those words leaving your heart as light, expanding outward until they wrap the earth in warmth. Feel how powerful you are, not in force, but in love. My dear, never underestimate the reach of your love. Love in community heals neighborhoods. Love in words and thoughts heals relationships. Love in global consciousness heals the planet. And it all begins with one decision: to let love flow. Not tomorrow, not when you feel perfect, but now, in this moment. You are already love. You are already a blessing. You are already a light for the world. And so it is. Now, my dear, I want to leave you with a gentle invitation for reflection. Take out your journal or simply sit quietly with these questions in your heart. How have I shared love today? Is there someone I still need to forgive so that love may flow more freely within me? What one act of kindness can I offer my community this week? And what words have I spoken to myself today? Were they critical or were they loving? These questions are not meant to judge you, but to open you, to guide you back to the place where love is natural and effortless. And now, let us close with a blessing. Place your hand softly on your heart and breathe. Hear these words as if they were being spoken directly into your soul. As you love yourself more, love naturally flows to everyone around you. Every act of love heals you, heals others, and heals the planet. You are love. You are loved. You are here to be a blessing. Take that truth with you. Let it move through your day, and remember always, life loves you. And so it is.